Coming to you live from the top of the Ferris wheel beneath the blinking multicolored light, it's another episode of PAPAtv Live. I'm Pete Hendricks, joined in the booth today by Evan Bookbinder and Lucas Herder.
How you doing, Petey?
I'm doing good. So today we got a couple of amusement-based games, Coney Island and Funhouse.
I'm amused.
That's our episode, folks. Thank you.
We're out.
No, amusement park and amusement games, they make a good theme for pinball machines. There's so much that you can do with them. What do you two think of these games?
One is one of my favorite games of all time,
And the other is Coney Island?
and the other is pinball.
Okay. And we'll find out later which one is one of his favorites. But let's get started on some Funhouse. And stepping up to start
Who's
off our
this
broadcast
guy?
tonight is
Right.
James Coons.
Welcome. This clearly is one of my favorite games.
James' favorite carnival ride, the Turnpike.
The Pennsylvania Turnpike. I like my answer better.
It's basically the same ride.
Yeah,
Honestly. Both
A little
induce
faster.
mild nausea.
That's not what I wanted to do.
So when you rode the Turnpike, do you like bounce it off the rail as much as possible?
I mean, obviously.
Okay. So this is a pretty simple game, rules-wise. The object is to advance your clock to 11:30 and then start locking balls.
Or hit all the stand-ups.
Right, so in the center of the play field is a giant clock whose starting value is adjustable in the settings. Typically, it's somewhere about 9 o'clock, I think, in the default.
8 o'clock.
Essentially, every switch hit advances the clock some denomination. Easier to hit shots are obviously less value,
Nope.
but you want to get that clock to 11:30, then 11:45, then midnight.
You could tell right here, right now his clock is at 10:05 and rapidly moving, now 10:20. Now there's also the magic mirror that has modes in the game.
And that mirror is here. It's a pretty straight shot to that scoop that you can hit from either flipper, or sometimes you can
Just bang it off of all of those things.
bank it off the giant hot
Super
dog
dope.
shot. Sometimes goes in rather easily. It's the relighting of that shot, much like its cousin Whirlwind, that I think is somewhat difficult, which is hitting Rudy's mouth. So.
And as it seems to have been the theme this whole year, we have another Pat Lawler game. And it's not like I planned this, or they just happen to be all the ones that I'm picking.
We're out of games with scary animatronic faces. Though.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is the last
it.
one. All right, stepping up now is Priyanka. Her favorite carnival ride, Noah's Ark.
It's Kennywood.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
I thought you meant real life Noah's Ark because it rains so much here.
No.
Very Pittsburgh. So what are some of the plunge options? I know some people pick different approaches. I see a lot of people short plunge to begin.
Right, so there is a skill shot that Priyanka just hit as a normal shot that kind of stuck in the back center of the playfield here. If you plunge it just right, it'll land in kind of the lock shot, basically, and kick out. And the points there, they're okay, a couple hundred.
For such a difficult shot.
Yeah. You can long plunge all the way around to either the upper left flipper and take a pot shot at Rudy. Sometimes not a bad idea. Or plunge all the way around to the lower left flipper. But as Lucas mentioned, I prefer the short plunge.
And
Well, go ahead, Petey.
you have the chance for the mirror shot, and we've had 3 players, and we've seen all 3 of the common drains already. Right out lane,
This
left out
game-
lane, and mirror brick down the middle.
This game is very drainy. And the short plunge, like
Yeah,
one of
there's 2
two
short
things is
plunges.
usually going to happen. One is it's going to roll across the switch, hopefully down the right in lane to take a shot at the mirror. And the other option, if you plunge just slightly harder than that and get a lucky bounce, sometimes you'll get the back door into that hole, which when it kicks out will light your steps on the left ramp.
That's a good way to start.
All right. So
We'll talk about steps here in a bit, but let's let
James got
do
his
some
mirror,
playing.
and his mirror word was quick multi-ball. This
Oh,
is a
that was
two-ball
quick
multi-ball,
multi-ball.
where
That was
the
very
goal is
quick.
to hit Rudy for $1 million or to drain one of them and be done.
Nice.
Very nice.
So to relight the mirror, James either needs to
Not do that.
no.
That does not
It's only
relight the
pinball.
mirror.
It's only pinball. I love how Rudy taunts you. Whether you're playing well or not, you're getting taunted. But I think there are, was it 6 or 7 awards on the mirror? We have a kind of a tough angle on that
There's 6.
overhead here,
There are 6 awards. One of them is not available.
which would be the extra ball because
Correct.
it's Papa and we're mean.
Also, Evan, how did you rate that tilt as our expert, in-house expert?
Oh, it's perfectly set. I think James absolutely deserved that.
Sandmith,
And he nods in agreement from the back seat. So.
Sandsmith asking, is there a ball save if you short plunge and hit the right out lane? And yes,
Yep.
there is.
That's not aware.
Oh, I thought my score was still blinking. I thought I was going to get that back.
You hit something.
I must have. Barely hit anything.
Yeah, these
Points are points.
right at the end of the old System 11 era, Whirlwind Radical, and then this is the beginning of the WPC era for Bally Williams. Ball saves kind of really weren't a thing yet, so plunging is key.
Wow.
This game's just very well engineered in terms of the number of angles that will lead to painful drains. But you can get a hold of it.
Yeah, I mean, there are some videos out there of this game in tournaments where the top players just play it for 45 minutes. And I think this was in Louisville finals one year. And imagine like Daniele and Keith and Yorian all playing this.
Yeah, definitely if
Take
you're
a while.
someone new to competition, this is a game I would recommend learning. It seems to appear at a lot of tournaments.
All right.
One of the fun shots you can do in this game, really not a strategy, but very similar to Twilight Zone, the orbits, both from the left and we're going right through the pops, build up these gangway values that are shown at the very bottom of the playfield above the flipper. You can see Rob has 3 of those collected. And on location or normal play, those will advance toward an extra ball.
Jack Flash asking, won't the ball roll over on a short plunge, making the playfield validated, though? Yeah, but I guess maybe when they had this game out for play testing, they realized the issue with the short plunge to the out lane, so they actually programmed it in that it will give that back. Now, I think it's only on the first plunge, though. Like, if you're plunging off a lock, that'll be a drain.
I think that's correct. All right, so Rob, by hitting that right hole, lit the steps. And what that does is divert the ball, instead of the flippers, to... What is that? Another plunger?
Yeah.
Unusual.
We saw this with Roadshow, and
So, much
There.
like Roadshow, there's a plunger option on the left. And, wow,
delay.
okay, I may retract my statement about how...
So how do you- how do you rate that tilt?
That tilt was, wow, I'm going to give that about a 2. I don't think you deserve that, Rob.
there are 3 awards on the steps. Well, 4. There's a extra ball, there's a frenzy, and there's points. Or you could super full plunge, full plunge, and have it go all the way around. And I forget what that is because I never do it.
Right.
But it's there. Yeah, I don't remember. Someone will have to do that. But obviously, you know, if you're on location and the extra ball is lit, then you're probably trying to go for that. But it's a skillful plunge just to light that step shot at the left ramp, and then
I have to
How
shoot
hard
for
do you pull?
Superdog, don't I? That's the rules, right?
I'd recommend it.
Yes,
you have to
because
get
you said it.
yourself
Most hot dogs today wins.
get yourself a hot dog.
There's one.
And into the steps.
Wow.
Well, that couldn't have been any
That was
better.
Wow.
Fortuitous.
That's a ball save.
But so with his locks ready, and assuming he's going to go for multi-ball,
No,
I
it's-
probably would have tried to plunge for the frenzy there to get the at least the opportunity to have multiple balls in play with switch-based points available.
It would have been the smart thing to do.
Hindsight.
Struggling a little bit with that lock shot.
Yeah, and it's one
Nice
that
pass, is it?
shot just seems from copy to copy of this game can vary a lot based on where the flipper sits. Once you find it, though, it's a good shot to have down. It's a good bailout shot if the ball's coming quick to the flipper.
And
All right, so Steps is relit.
So not really a backhandable shot, that lock. So
Some it is. I've played copies where it's backhandable, but usually if it's set up right, that super dog bank is
Right,
kind of in
blocks
the
it
way.
out. It's definitely important
Oh,
to have
get up,
your
get-
post
it
pass
shouldn't be
on this game.
backhandable.
Covering a couple things in the chat here. They asked who is the voice of Broody, and Brian Tessier, monitoring the chat like the champ that he is, answered it was Ed Boone.
Wow.
And Sam Smith asking, can you steal locks? And you cannot on this game. It'll if there's balls up there and if there aren't any in the trough to spit out, it'll just spit them out of the top.
It's important to note though, because that way you can clearly see them under the ramp, and that way you know if they're going to kick out or they're going to go into the shooter lane. And I'm going to call my shot. I'm going to full plunge and shoot the frenzy.
Into the trap door.
Okay.
Calling
this-
it.
Nice shot.
You'll see there's a cool shot here. I love this shot. It's a trap door that opens on a hinge by a coil that you can hit in there for points and the jackpot during multi-ball.
Okay, so he's got the hideout, and he was way late on the flip for the frenzy.
No Babe Ruth here.
Wait,
There you go.
Hey!
I'll take it that way. I
But
guess.
a kind of a did you know little fact that Pat Lawler used that same exact trap door on the left orbit on Dialed In.
All right, so the frenzy, every switch scores 50,000 points,
Yeah, so
and
he-
he'll get this in bonus, so you don't want to tilt.
That's one key point, and he definitely wants to get to multi-ball here.
All right, and then because there's all the balls are up in the locks, he gets the one from the top.
It's a very simple question, but what all constitutes a switch in a frenzy mode?
Everything.
Everything. So the pop bumpers.
Pops, the in lanes, stand-ups.
The spinner.
Nothing's lit.
That's what this game is missing.
Man, that sucks.
I guess you're gonna have to full plunge.
Full
then.
plunge. We forgot what happens.
Oh, you get a super dog.
That's not bad. Get yourself a hot
All
dog.
right, go Joey Chestnut and eat all these hot dogs.
If you hold up the upper left flipper, I don't like. Nice shot. I'm trying to remember if it'll carry him into that shot or not on the fly.
He got the
You
sausage.
got the sausage bonus. I forgot. How do you do that?
I was not aware of that.
Anybody in chat
This is
remember how you
perfect.
get the sausage bonus?
This is best because now I don't have to plunge it. It'll kick it out, and hopefully I put it right in the mouth.
Yeah, this is optimal situation here.
James
And
is
there we
renowned
go.
for his top left flipper skills.
All right, he
That's
got the. He gets a million for starting the multi-ball, and the goal now is to go into the trap door. Oh, close.
Oh, nice backspin there.
So ways to get it back to the top flipper, putting it in the lock shot. We'll give it a nice speed around.
This is perfect. Two balls trapped on the right.
Here comes.
Oh.
No.
Another
Another
Oh.
one. No. There's one down the out lane.
Oh, there's
two.
another.
But there is a relight, and he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he's got this.
All right, post pass.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Done.
Very nice.
What's jackpot on this?
Starts at
No, I mean the shot. Is it the face?
No, it's still the same thing.
Oh, it's just not open.
Yeah, when you waiting for you to plunge, so it doesn't get like if you have a plunge and gets so it doesn't get stuck on the back side of it.
good plunge.
There it is. Open.
Oh, that was quick.
PPL Bob saying I think a certain amount of hits on Rudy will get you the sausage bonus. And I'm not thinking about it and thinking about Rocho. He's probably right because a certain number of hits on Red gets you the cheeseburger bonus.
A lot of
so-
backspin on that.
Decent ball.
I'll take it.
So, as we said earlier, when you get to 11:30 on the clock, that lights your first lock, then 11:45, then midnight.
Yep.
Isn't it true that in certain settings, and maybe competition settings, if you drain without getting to multi-ball, you kind of
You go
Yeah,
back to
go back to
11:30.
11:30 and you
Yep.
got to start all your locks over again. And I think that's how this would be set tonight, right?
Yep.
All right, steps is lit.
Another thing I've learned about this game is that you don't always have to use the top flipper. And there are going to be instances where throwing it into Rudy is going to send it out of control.
Right, if the mirror's already lit, that's kind of a wasted shot for sure. In the outer orbit, the trapdoor shot here, it's fun, but you've got to make a loop once, which opens the trapdoor, and then put it in the trapdoor on the fly. That's a high-risk, high-velocity shot that's not worth a lot of points.
Yeah, a lot of
So
risk.
if you're playing for fun, sure, but I agree. The upper left flipper is a lot of points in this game, like a sucker shot that just let the ball go down to the lower left flipper to a
Right,
trap
get a
and
nice speed control.
get it back under control.
2 questions from the chat. Chat. Yeah, I can speak. Scribble 3. Anyone from the stream heading to Colorado this week? No, none of us are. The Pennsylvania state champion was Alexander Kazmarchik, but he's not heading out. Lewis Bevins will be representing Pennsylvania. And of our
tomorrow.
women players, Priyanka was an alternate for the women's final, but the spots filled up.
I do believe our West Virginia friend is Brian in.
Brian
Brian's
Dye will be
heading
heading
out.
out there, yeah.
Lewis is heading out, tomorrow, I think, maybe? So, a lot of fun. I was out there a few weeks ago, got to play with the guys, with Ryan Wanger of Comet and Snow as well, and got to see some of the games that are going to be featured in the tournament. And all I'm going to say is there's some awesome, unique titles we don't get to see a lot in the lineups. The women's tournament especially, I was like, it would be an honor to be able to play what they've picked out. So I'm excited. Hopefully they're going to, I'm pretty sure they're going to be streaming it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rudy's just not happy with your level of play.
That was really poor.
All right, I'll take a moment. Let's talk about Comet Pinball.
That's a good segue.
Comet Pinball has the largest selection of lighting products for your pinball machines. LEDs can brighten up your game while reducing heat and power consumption. Whether you're a collector, operator, restorer, or mod maker, you always find low prices, fast shipping, and great service with Comet Pinball. Check them out at facebook.com/Comet Pinball, twitter.com/Comet Pinball, instagram.com/Comet Pinball, or since all these events are in Colorado, you might see Ryan out there. Talk to him and there.
Super dude. Awesome LEDs. That's all I got to say about that.
We had one other question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is it to get Super Frenzy? And we'll welcome to the booth and let him answer, James Coons.
It's like, how do you get to Super Frenzy?
Super Friends, you got to get all of the mirror modes. So you need 6 shots into the mirror. Well, in this version, 5 shots.
and then relights.
And then relights, yeah.
Which it's probably the harder of aspect of doing that.
Well, that's the
Unless you do what James just did.
if you're accurate off of that right in lane, because that'll temporarily light it.
You could shats it up there. I've never tried that before.
Ooh. I don't know. I'm always wary of shatzing if those in lanes are short and are just wireframes.
Oh boy.
So they, oh my gosh.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
we felt that from here.
I'm rooting for you, Jim, as a fellow Jim. You know,
As a fellow Jim.
it's a pact. It's a pact that we all enter into on the day of our birth.
From one James to another.
Yes.
Jack Flash 53. What is everyone's favorite nickname from Rudy? He's partial to Biff.
I mean, Biff is just a great name. Spunky.
You know,
But it definitely makes me think of Back to the Future. Anytime somebody says Biff, that or Batman, because it was a sound effect in the old Batman.
Collins.
I gotta say this though, because I owned the game for like 3 years, and I thought it said something else, and it's not Biff.
Collins'
And
favorite
it's something
ride.
I can't say.
The Exterminator, and that ball was rapidly
Didn't hit
exterminated.
anything.
Hit 0 things.
You can have it back. So how many different names are there that he calls players? There's a fair amount. Biff, Bucko.
Bonsai.
That's not a thing.
No.
Should be though.
Just going with B.
We just like
words.
have Soren do a code update to add a bunch more names.
Ah.
Baba Booey.
Every player starts a game of Funhouse is a given name, like Chucky, Spunky, Bucko, and Slick. The name sticks for your player for each ball. It's not that obvious. I'm sure many people didn't even notice that.
Wow.
Originally, the idea was that each of these names was to have its own personality, such that Rudy would use varying phrases for each person. But all that remains of this feature is that some of Rudy's phrases will have the player's name inserted in. Well, almost. If the player receives the name Slick, which is only possible in a 2 or more player game, the semi-derisive phrases will be used.
Interesting.
Huh.
There's a code update opportunity here for voice additions.
I would like PinballMIX to make a version of this with famous actors. I'm sure that we could cobble together enough lines from some actor with like a huge thing, like Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler.
There
I'm
you
sure
go.
you could do an Adam Sandler voiceover of this entire game.
Here's an interesting fact. This game originally was going to have a mechanical clock, but cost became an issue. So that was removed for this game, but work was started to use it on a later game. Which game?
Pirates of the Caribbean by Jersey Jack.
No.
Close.
I'm gonna go with Twilight Zone, Pete.
Yes.
Get yourself a hot dog. So
I was going to ask if it was 3 spinning discs to represent
the clock. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
that would have
man.
been way ahead of its time.
Yeah, it'd still be ahead of its time.
See what I did there.
Oh, nice.
So,
save.
were you guys aware that there was a prototype version of this game that is subtly different?
No.
So there are 4 completely worthless stand-ups that spell
Oh, they're not
step.
worthless.
Yeah, they
No,
don't-
they are.
They're not good.
They're so you drain.
don't aim for them, people. So in the prototype version, there was a 5th letter, I think, to spell out steps, and so the 3 you see there were slightly adjusted.
Ooh. I
I
wonder if
wanna
it would
s-
be over to the right of the hidden hallway.
Yeah, I think there was originally a stand-up to the left
that-
of
that would be
Rudy.
A crazy hard
I
shot.
may be wrong on that, but that's what I recall.
Oh no, you know where it could have been? It could have been a stand-up between Rudy and the hidden thing,
The hidden thing.
the trap door. I know what these things are.
All right.
You know.
Meanwhile, Lucas is doing the thing.
Oh, I hate this
Orbit
shot.
there.
Lucas trying for the loop and then the Rudy combo, which would have been really awesome.
Yeah. So it's midnight. Rudy's got his eyes closed that you can't see. He's snoring.
Letting the audience sleep here, not.
Boom!
There we go.
There it is.
Nice.
Money.
Nicely done.
Now he's going to throw up.
Which you should just ignore that one and just go for the 2 balls that are going to kick out. At least that's my strategy.
All right, so you'll have a chance for the restart here.
So if you hit that left orbit clean, it has a habit of coming right through those pop bumpers somehow.
That
Don't
just
take your
laid
hands
up
off of
there.
the pinball.
I cannot believe you saved that. And I love how the music makes you want to hurry up.
1 second.
You got 1 shot. There's
Zero.
a grace period. You got this. Still got it. Oh!
All right. 5 o'clock. Start over.
Start over. It's a lot of shots.
Just put it in the pop bumpers.
One of the mirror awards is Super Pops. You can see right now that all the pops are solidly lit. I
my
forget what the
gosh.
breakdown is, but if they're blinking, they give you more time than
That's right.
if they're solid.
Yeah, but I believe it's like 15 or like 5 minutes if they're not, and then like 15 minutes if they are blinking, which is significant except if you're going from 5 p.m.
But I like ramping out. It's points and decent clock bonus.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it builds. You'll see it went 15 minutes and 20 minutes and 25. Nice tip over. Good tap pass.
This is tap pass. Post pass.
Or, yeah, whatever. You know what I meant. Some kind of pass.
Keith Elwin would get bored at this game in a tournament
Try to tap
and
pass
then
Williams
start tap
Clippers.
passing.
Nope.
Or inlane passing.
Hey, it's a good 4 mil, though.
That's very nice.
Bow.
All right, so Slick's back up here.
Slick. That wasn't very slick.
It got you some time,
It did.
and you can go play on the steps.
Yeah, he's 1 shot away from getting his locks lit.
If you do wait to plunge your first ball, he will tell you what your name is. Because he'll say, hey, buddy, plunge the ball. Hey, Bucky, plunge the ball. Hey, Slick, plunge the ball. They apparently recorded all of those.
So after you
There we
spell
go.
step, what do you do next? Just exactly what James did. You shoot the ramp and it'll divert over to the left plunger where there'll be a possible awards lit that he's trying to shoot. And then he got the one that will light frenzy. And if you can shoot the
I like
tunnel
that.
there, it'll start a frenzy mode.
I like that approach.
Now, some people will save their steps and use it as a way to start the multi-ball because it feeds to that upper left flipper if you do it right.
Oh, that's no fun.
And hey, there's the step skater open again.
I did do that during warm-up earlier, and it was very nice.
So James has that opportunity, and here he is. Now he could either hit the frenzy or
Nice.
the multi-ball. He got the frenzy.
I think I need another lock for multi-ball. Oh, boy.
That's true.
Oh, what a save.
Yeah, he's
There's
not.
still 20 seconds, though. Plenty of time,
Pops is a good spot to be during Frenzy, right?
Yes.
normally.
Normally it'd be a spinner, but they forgot that. Yep, and all frenzy values from any frenzy are, like Pete said, bonus, so don't tilt.
And frenzies can stack. So if you have one running and you get another one, just adds another 20 seconds on.
Now, did you plunge it into the pops for the frenzy?
No, that was unintentional. I was actually trying to... Oh, a little late. Oh, save.
Now that's
There you go.
that's
Saving
why-
steps as a left out lane save isn't a bad thing either.
but that's only the steps from the mirror. If you
Oh.
spell steps, it doesn't do that. It will still drain you.
You plunged that nicely.
I love the music on this game.
I love the snoring.
Oh, boy. Get in there.
The days before a subwoofer, you know, could you imagine? Shaker motor with a subwoofer for his snoring. I wonder what the first pinball machine with a shaker motor was. Chat? Anybody want to look that up for us? That'd be great.
I have an idea, but let's let chat.
Well, what's your guess?
I'm not saying it.
I know Gladiators had one,
Beautiful.
which is 93.
Okay,
Roadshow had one.
so James just did the thing. He got the jackpot.
Earthshaker, that's a good guess.
And then
I relit
sorry.
it already.
So he relit it at the left ramp as the relight. And then this is some of the best music in pinball, in my opinion, is after you get the jackpot.
Oh, get in there!
Oh, almost.
And the value, like Whirlwind builds $1 million each time you get a jackpot.
It's worth $3 million at this point.
Scores can get really insane if you start collecting consecutive jackpots.
I have played ones where it's almost impossible to hit that
There's two.
jackpot. Oh, wow. Nice. And sometimes it's nice just to shoot for that 250,000 point ramp. It's very repeatable.
Right, so the ramp does have a higher point value during multi-ball. Nice save. 12 million.
Didn't
All right.
get it that time, but
Got another almost 2 million coming in bonus. Wow, literally almost 2 million.
See what ball was this? Ball
2.
2. So during warm-ups, James actually put up a score like 18 million, and then we realized that the batteries were dead and his score disappeared. So he's trying to recreate it.
Well on his way. Excellent ball.
That's such a dangerous miss. Anytime you miss up there with that flipper, either you miss and you get the super dog and then it's just sideways motion,
Right.
or you miss so bad and you just put it down the right out lane. That flipper is really great at
This,
shooting that right out lane.
Well, in this configuration with the double in lane and the metal bars is like the reverse Avatar, Metallica, Ghostbusters. You know,
Oh,
every
yeah.
modern Stern is like the mirror of that Lawler original.
And it will skip right across the top of both of
I know,
those.
and you're like, there's 2 in lanes and 1 out lane. You think you'd have a 1 in 3 chance of losing the ball, but no.
No,
It
you
seems you have like a 90% chance of losing the ball.
That is interesting, though. Most of Lawler's double lanes were on the left, but this one's on the right.
It's a good double left Lawler example.
Twilight Zone,
Yep.
Adam's Family.
Not Bonsai Run.
Well, this
Oh,
whole
wait.
game is sort of
Well, sort of.
set mirror opposite.
No, I guess Roadshow. Yeah, Roadshow had double right.
You know, the scoop on this is on the opposite side of the scoop as Adam's Family, the electric truck. It's almost like an inverted Adam's Family in a way, in terms of like shot layout. Your ramp's on the left as opposed to being on the right.
That's what this game needs, a magnet.
Wow.
Well, you know, they used like the whole stock inventory of them in Adam's Family and Twilight Zone. So
The Veritarget is really the thing that.
Now,
do we have answers in chat, by the way, for first Shaker Motor game?
a lot of people were guessing Earthshaker.
That was going to be my guess.
And what year was this, Pete?
This was 90.
90. Had not invented the shaker motor.
Yeah, this was like Williams' first WPC game, but they kept the alphanumeric display. The first time I went to service one of these and I brought System 11 parts, and I was like, oh, I did not do my homework.
What's it categorized in Pinburg? Because that's a big cutoff.
This is a 3.
A third game.
3.
Yeah.
Well, late solid state, early modern, same category, right? So that wouldn't matter. But
Yeah, I guess that you're right.
yeah, that's not the crossover, which is weird. Because for some reason, at least I associate, nice shot, Priyanka. The alphanumeric to full dot matrix switchover is kind of this break in pinball.
But a lot of those early, dot matrix games, yeah, they
Wow.
changed the way it displayed stuff, but really fundamentally the games really still played similar in terms of rule sets and
So I really like the way Priyanka didn't listen to the music, getting you to rush. She trapped up, took her time, aimed at the lock relight, and made it. You know, a lot of mistakes players will make too is accidentally hit the jackpot during the grace period. And that's it. You're out of multi-ball.
I don't know. I would take that trade-off. Unless I was down like by 12 million.
which is currently the situation. All right, 5:30 p.m.
So what's your, you're on a multi-ball, and like you said, the clock starts all the way back to 5 o'clock. What's your strategy to build that up in a relatively safe manner?
I'm just gonna go for as many mirrors as I can get.
It's a good time to work on mirrors.
Yep.
I would
Steps
say.
ramp is also open.
Yeah, but I like leaving the steps ramp open as a ball save as much as I can.
Yep. We saw that work out for James.
the other James.
All right.
And
See?
that's why.
Yeah.
There it is.
So she relit the mirror by hitting Rudy, and steps.
Which one
that's
should I go
perfect.
for?
Is there
the
only one
lit
lit?
The
Yeah.
frenzy.
Yeah, it's either frenzy or points.
Now watch out, if you miss the short plunge and it comes back, there's a chance it kicks back out. I guess did not need to worry about that.
I knew I was going to overshoot it.
But earlier during warm-ups, James missed the plunge and plunged it too short, and it came down, and
Oh, nice combo.
the gap that lets the ball go in to the out lane bumped the ball into the playfield, and he was not quite prepared for that.
Oh, so we got kind of a little kick off the wall there, so to speak.
Yeah, because the left side of that ramp ends, and there's just a little bit of metal there for how the ramp is mounted.
Right.
And it gives it just enough sideways motion that I guess it caused it to kick out. And he luckily was saved the ball, but he was not prepared for it. You know, because usually you get that plunge, you got a couple seconds to kind of like get back to the flippers.
Well, she got the sausage McMuffin, and that was it.
All right, ball 2 for
All right,
Lucas.
sitting behind a cool 10 mil.
A lot of work.
And it's only 7:05. We're just into Jeopardy, and
That's right.
Rudy's hideout.
see
is
if we
a
can move
great
into prime
plunge.
time here.
I had a good night at Play at Home Jeopardy last night. It was like, what are
Oh.
Evan's favorite categories?
Did you see that? So he
That
got
was awesome.
shot Rudy or plunged Rudy's hideout, then shot around, got it back into Rudy's hideout, but that had triggered frenzy or the trapdoor being
Trapdoor
open.
bonus.
And then because you're in the hideout, it comes out of the hidden hallway, which is great, right to that flipper.
Oh, come on.
Oh boy. Okay.
You've got it.
I wonder if they put the hidden hallway there not as like originally a feature, but as, man, the ball really does get stuck back here a lot. You know, I wonder, like, during design, if
Yeah.
sometimes things get added because they're like, oh, we designed this one thing, and it's great, except that 25% of the time the ball gets stuck. So why don't we put something here to guarantee that the ball will go somewhere?
Right.
It's kind of a neat mechanism back there that holds that lock in there and kicks the balls out.
Okay, so right now James is at 14 million, which is decent. But then there was the Robert Gagnon Papa qualifying game on Funhouse. How do you want to remember that one?
Yeah, I witnessed that firsthand, just standing there admiring it next to him or behind him.
62
60
million. No extra balls.
I think I was telling you guys before the broadcast that I didn't know who Robert was at the time, and after that game, he just ran straight back into the queue area and ran up to me. He's like, "So what'd you think of that game?" And I didn't realize there was a whole bunch of cameras in my face that they were doing his HBO documentary on him
yeah.
at the time. So I've got my like 2 seconds of fame back then of telling him what a great game he just had, and it ended up it was an amazing game. I mean,
Did you add that to your IMDb page?
yeah, exactly. The Evan Bookbinder is just loaded with no.
I'm in that one too.
Uh-oh.
Yes, you are. Well, I think probably everybody here is a cameo or in the background at some point.
Well, and you got to imagine, right? So that was on a Papa machine that was for Papa. So, like, right before Papa, the A-Bank machines are really tuned up. Those slingshots are going to fire faster than anything you've
Brutally
ever
hard.
seen. Dan Hall is going to wax the playfield, so it is the fastest version of the game you've ever played in your life. The kickouts are going to be designed in a way that they're not going to be nearly as controllable, and he still put up that huge score.
And I really encourage everybody listening on Twitch tonight to watch that clip on our YouTube channel, because he does something during multi-ball that, to me, you know, I think all of us here are pretty moderate to highly skilled players, but he does some what I call ball cycling, just continuously with 2 balls in play. One is hitting the jackpot and the other one's relighting it in almost this endless sequence of loop that it's like, is he ever going to get out of it? And you just watch his jackpots, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. And
Like a roller coaster. One's in the station, unloading and loading, while the other's halfway around.
It really is just something incredible to watch.
Unless it's the racer, and then both are in the station.
That's my multi balls. Those are in the station really fast.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think when you're really at an advanced level like that,
Ooh, that was dumb.
you understand like how the ball's going to flow around the machine intuitively at that point. You can see the patterns, you know, and you start building efficient play. Because I think the difference between good players and great players is great players need less shots to get to that point. Whereas a good player might be able to get that score eventually,
Right.
but they're going to put the ball in play and in a much more dangerous situation many more times because they're just not going to be efficient. They're not going to anticipate as well.
There's a whole level of focus and accuracy at play. I mean, to do it with one ball is hard enough, but to do it with 2 or 3 balls in play, or in some of these games, you know, numerous balls in play. Again, what he did on Funhouse in that qualifying game, and I've seen him do this in other games, and I've seen other high-level players do similar things. They just get in that zone, if you will, of cycling balls between jackpots and relights. Another key example is like Scared Stiff, alternating ramps back and forth for minutes, and it's like, what the heck? I mean,
or if you go back to Pinburg like 5 or 6 years ago, Keith Elwin plays the game of Hot Tip, where the flow of getting the ball up to the top, getting it back, tap passing it over, perfectly hitting the spinner shot, you know, because he was at the point where the only thing he could do for that game was shoot the spinner, and you just watch this flow, and he takes the least amount of shots that you would ever need to put that
was
score up.
awesome. The 3 loops, 3/4 mil. Wow, that was so hard to execute. Nicely done, Lucas.
Thanks. I'm really not an upper flipper player, but that worked well.
Yeah, so each subsequent trap door requires 1 more orbit to open it, so I just wish the points for that were higher, because I think the level of difficulty to do that on the fly is super tough.
Well, it leaves the trap door open, though, so... Oh,
All right.
very nicely done.
I'm looking in the back on the couch, and James's expression has changed from a happy smile to it's the beginning of a deep sweat almost. I hope it's not coronavirus, and it's just Lucas coming for him, but...
So the chat has been having a discussion about the first DMDs, and if you trust IPDB, like Brian said in the chat, Checkpoint is the first game to have a dot matrix display. That was a Data East game from '91.
Terrible. I mean, it's pinball.
It used a half-height DMD
That's
as
right.
compared to the standard
right.
DMDs
The
used by
Data
Williams.
East.
They were just like, we're going to use a DMD to just replace the system we already have. And
Yeah,
I
so-
wonder if it was one of those marketing things where they were like, we know everybody else is doing this. Because, right, in this small world, everybody knows what
You know what
everybody
your
else is doing.
competition engineers are up to.
And they're like, we want to be the first to release a DMD, so we'll do it, but we don't really have the time, energy, or effort to do anything with it, so we'll just cut off half of it, because I'm sure it's probably...
my gosh, that sling just said goodbye.
I'm sure it's a full DMD, and it's just cut off.
You
I
think
would-
behind the back glass the rest of the DMD's there?
I'm going to have to go look at it after this, but I would not be surprised if that's what they did.
There were a number of games they used that on. And it's like, how do you develop like 1-inch tall graphics? They
Very
were
careful.
not good.
You hire Kevin Martin. No, he came much later at Data East. And never actually worked on pinball. Go back, there's an interview with him on PAPAtv in which he admits he never worked on pinball, he just happened to be in pinball.
So there's a shot of the mirror that we hadn't been able to show you there with all the different features on it, not really modes.
Lucas, you need to get mirror
Lucas is in
frenzy.
a very
And what's important about showing this mirror, he's got one left, and it's a really good one.
now. If you were Lucas and well, let's let him get it first.
Oh, nice save. Nice save.
Trap up, please.
Oh, my heavens. Nope. Nope. And now.
There.
All right, so
Now.
he's got quick multi-ball.
Would you dump this multi-ball knowing that you have this Super Frenzy next?
Okay. I am trapping one ball up on the flipper and not using it and try to get what points I can with the other ball. And when it's dead, it's dead.
Okay, it's dead.
And
But he forgot step
but he
one.
forgot step one. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my. Wow.
And the nice thing about the Super Frenzy is it's automatically lit. He
You just
doesn't
gotta-
have to hit Rudy to light it.
you just got to shoot that shot you just shot.
Oh, it was such a nice tip over.
That's not the shot.
Don't use the upper left flipper.
Oh, I thought
Okay.
that was going to be a mistake.
I was going to have to pay him.
oh, my.
Oh!
The dead bounce had no gas.
So
Such a
close,
good
too.
game, though, man.
12 million to 15 million.
While we catch our breaths.
Oh, and I'm like, I love dead bouncing, and I would have done the same thing. That just, that.
James, how nervous were you? Scale of 1 to 10.
See?
I was sitting there counting all the points, all the potential points he had. So this is going to be a little tribute.
You didn't get to
the-
see Super Frenzy yet.
We're doing.
Now, while we catch our breaths, here's a word from Pinstadium.
The wait is over. A revolution in LED lighting for your pinball is finally here. Fully customizable, full spectrum lighting from Pinstadium Lights. Order yours now at pinstadium.com.
All right.
This
So we're going
music's
to welcome
amazing.
James to the booth in a second. He's going to swap out for Petey. Go ahead, Lucas. Get it started. James.
Welcome,
James.
sir. Great game. Great game.
That felt real good.
Lucas also had a great game.
Thank you.
Oh, man,
Thank
it was
you.
so much fun to watch. The
Uh,
comeback.
Evan, how do you feel getting the privilege today to be the center of a James sandwich?
Yeah, no one else can see that.
I'm sure the producer, I'm sure Jake in the producer's booth can show the world the James
I'm
sandwich.
the I'm the jelly between the peanut butter that is James Emmanuel. And
It's
James
probably
Coons.
worse if they imagine it, right? I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. Well, let's make this multi-ball not quick. There's a nice mill
Oh, he
right
got
off
it.
the bat.
I was
Love it.
unsure if he had gotten that. Because, I mean,
Oh, perfect setup.
it registers more than Sparky, but it definitely has some issues.
Okay, so the millions, there's no relight. They're just permanently lit. So you probably, if you can, want to keep a ball trapped on the right and just play with the left. Throw it in the hallway, bang it off the face.
that transfer over worked real well.
There
Nice.
it is. I
Oh,
love
there
it.
it is. And nope. 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 No. Wow. None of those slingshots fired.
That's good.
When he got quick multi-ball during the last game, I thought for sure that was going
Two
to be
shots.
it.
2 shots at it. There's one.
Hey, thanks Quincy Hughes for following.
Yeah, be sure to hit that follow button if you want to know when we go on air. If you can got a free Prime subscription, drop it here. Skip those commercials. If not, we'd love your support. If you wanted to give us just a regular old standard subscription, that would be fantastic.
We love
too.
subs, and we've got some presents coming up for subscribers, right?
Yeah, we are working on our emotes. We want to make sure that they were unique and interesting enough, so those should be coming around.
Papa, high quality Papa stuff.
I mean, I'm a sub to a couple Twitch channels, and I honestly do it because I hate commercials, and I am willing to spend some of my hard-earned cash every month to avoid those commercials, knowing that the streamer's going to get some of that, and it's going to help them be able to put on the best stream. And this is a love for all of us here. The money that you guys donate is going to go right back into more equipment, our ability to maybe even go to some locations and stream in the future. So,
And it still amazes me the number of people I still talk to that are gamers that don't realize that if they have Amazon Prime, that that monthly subscription to Amazon comes with a free Twitch subscription.
Yep.
So whether you give it to us or somebody, it's free to you. Use it. Find a streamer you like. Hopefully it's Papa. Oh,
Sorry
man.
about that.
Lucas.
Lucas.
The inner rage.
He does
But
seem very.
anyways,
angry.
use that free sub if you've got Amazon Prime. Otherwise, it's what, $5 a month?
$4.99.
Great value.
$4.99.
Oh, well,
penny,
there's a-
penny cheaper. Save a penny.
That tilt is what happens when you don't subscribe. So
So if we
Click that
asked
subscribe.
Colin yet about the Exterminator,
You can go ahead.
tell us about the Exterminator.
Do you
your
not know what
favorite
the
Carnival ride?
Exterminator is?
I don't.
Yeah, it's a ride at
Have you never-
Kennywood that I worked on. It's one of those spinning kind of roller coasters. It's indoor.
Yeah, it's great.
Pretty
it's really
popular.
a classic. It's a great ride. It's especially fun during Fright Nights when they turn off all the lights inside.
Oh yeah, and don't be nervous based on Colin's skills here at the pinball table. Did you actually? I mean, when you assembled the Exterminator, what did
I
you
didn't
do?
assemble it. I was not an engineer, but I mean, there were times where like there'd be a button on the wall, and they're like, "If this is flashing, hit it because something's wrong." And I did have to do that once.
So
while
lives-
making minimum wage.
You saved lives.
Hopefully,
PPL
or at
Bob.
least sore necks.
Bob Steele, thank you for your subscription.
Thank you for your subscription.
Wow!
Oh my
don't do
gosh!
that.
Hey, the dead bounce is not great on
Yeah.
this machine.
It's really
But he still had it.
inconsistent.
It did make it over to the right flipper, but apparently he wanted a double dead bounce right to the center drain.
I think sometimes it's easy to go for the dead bounce and then be shocked that the dead bounce worked and just completely mess up the timing.
All right, Pete Hendricks, welcome to the Funhouse.
Yeah, and I'm having a little bit of luck here. There are ROMs that when it's in tournament mode, it always makes quick multi-ball the first one. I don't think this game has that ROM in it, so I need to take advantage of this while I have it.
No, but I think we installed that when I had mine over at the old Pittsburgh Clubhouse, if I remember. We put that on there. Thank you, Suffocator, for the subscription to PAPAtv Pinball. Glad to have you here. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to dump them in the chat there. We're monitoring for you.
The chat has turned to talk about the potato patch at Kennywood.
There's something I'm familiar with, food.
Is that chat being led by Mr. Tessier, our roller coaster aficionado?
Yes, I asked Colin about the Exterminator, and James got interrupted. He said, so you've never been to... And the answer would be yes, regardless of what you were going to end
Kennywood.
that sentence with.
Kennywood. You've never been to
I'm
Kennywood.
just not a big ride person. I don't like
Oh, but
heights,
it's nostalgia.
and I
like
don't
people
like,
don't go to
and
Kennywood
I don't like
for the
going
rides.
upside down.
What-
I would be hanging out with the arcade mats.
Wait 1 second.
And
Pete,
playing
what
all the
were
arcade
you doing
games.
there?
Well, you can see I still have Million lit and I still have the steps lit. So the game thinks I'm still in multi-ball, yet there's only one ball in play.
Is there a ball stuck up behind Rudy's head? I got one stuck up there. Earlier.
No, I drained. It drained. It just
Did you light the million from the mystery mirror?
nope. No, let's
I
play
can
out,
tell
see
he's
what
in
happens.
multi-ball because the left ramp 250K is lit.
Oh, yeah.
Which is only lit in multi-ball. Yep, it's a multi-ball ramp.
All right, this
Boy, he's
is
such a good player to recognize state, but
Let's see what happened.
Who's the?
Yeah, it must have just been sitting in the trough weird.
yeah, I hadn't registered.
during Pinburg, what would you have done?
As an official or a player?
Well, here's the interesting thing. I would say the majority of players probably wouldn't have self-recognized they were in multi-ball in that state. Now, Pete obviously knows like every game on the planet like the back of his hand, but
Thanks,
And it's
Death
like,
Gun,
so-
for following.
what happens when...
That was
Oh
just
my
pathetic.
gosh. So we got a sub, we got a tilt. Let's talk about Death Gun.
For the
Double
follow.
X1 for the follow. Thank you very much for that
Oh,
follow.
Steve did get the
okay.
area code 412 as the score 412,000.
Let's say for sake of argument that the player at the machine does not aware they're in a state they shouldn't be. And the other players in your group, someone notices. You don't want to interrupt the player because that's like interference, right? And you're kind of in this weird position of how do you get them what you ideally want them to do is trap up in single ball play and get a tournament director over to rectify the situation. But how do you do that without
I don't
distracting
think it
the
would
player?
be considered interference if you said to the player, the machine is malfunctioning, try to trap up.
It would not qualify as interference unless the player had specifically said before the ball not to talk to them.
Okay, I am going to
Yeah,
be
but I don't know if, and I mean, the
I think
TD
you're
gets the
right.
final call, right? So they get to make that call, and at the end of the day, then I would always say that. Like if I'm a cheater, and I work catching people that cheat as a day job, so I sometimes have to think like one.
that you do.
If I'm cheating, then I would always say, hey, don't talk to me, don't interrupt me, don't come near me, or that's interference, because then if I get a beneficiary malfunction that I can trap up. A stuck ball in Lord of the Rings. I saw that in league finals here a number of years ago. And, you know, luckily the TD was close by that we flagged them down because the player was unwilling to they were not making a good enough attempt to trap up, you know?
I mean,
Lucas.
theoretically, if they do not stop play within 30 seconds, that should be a disqualification.
So what, can I throw another?
There you go.
I'm going to throw another variable into this scenario. Player listens to music on their headphones.
All right, I'm gonna try. A
They
full
can't
plunge.
hear you asking them to trap up and stop. Now what do you do?
You
Now
don't
you
get
do
a
it.
So
TD.
everybody's like, why are we even talking about this? But you gotta respect the amazing work that gets put on in any tournament, but especially a tournament like Pinburg, where these types of things happen multiple times through the course of the thousands and thousands of games that are played over the 3-day.
And that's why
tournament.
it's beneficial to pay attention to what's happening when somebody else is playing the machine, especially EMs, because score reel malfunctions are not uncommon. You play a game like Fireball, which I don't think
yeah. I
think
love
is
that
no
game.
longer allowed in Pinburg because it has a notorious problem with how it registers, it's multi-ball.
Pete just got the back door trap door open,
What
which
the
I
heck
don't
was
think
that?
I've ever seen.
I certainly wasn't ready for it.
Uh-oh. Oh, nice. Ooh.
That's gone. Tilt. Late tilt.
Just let that ball sit in the shooter lane.
Oh
That was
my.
awesome.
Oh my.
Is that our first double danger of the night?
First one that we
hasn't
survived.
tilted. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
had,
exactly.
We've had a number of double dangers.
That have progressed.
Yeah, this isn't going to end well.
So
Oh, nice shot.
Now I really got to be careful not to tilt.
You like to shimmy the machine a lot.
I do.
Yeah, Pete's flipping style is deliberate. Let's call it
Call it what it
deliberate.
is.
I've watched more than one multi-ball tilt with Pete before.
No, that's never happened.
So to Junior in the chat, yes, if you drain to the left out lane while Steps is lit, that's happened a couple times on the stream so far. It will save your ball.
Only if you light it from the mirror. If you
So-
spell it out, it won't.
Pete got the thing you were talking about before with the backspin off the wall and back into the in lane.
That was me, this James. You were looking at the other James when you said that, but yeah.
I don't believe that ever happened.
I mean, it was based on James.
it's based on a true story.
This James was telling a story about that James, about the backspin off that wall. So,
That's trouble.
I nodded as if I knew exactly what he was talking about anyways. So
I mean, see, it's all good.
we've got that psychic James
You
lane.
gotta realize no one at
That's
home
true.
can see us physically looking at the wrong person.
I mean, it's
so you're
true.
ruined.
It's
I
true.
mean, I had this whole story sold.
I know, it's beautiful. Just cut your legs out right on
I mean, I said
underneath
James,
you.
so I couldn't have messed that part of the story
That's
up.
true.
Rob, that's
True.
terrible.
It's very easy at this point.
Not midnight, no.
No. Rob's not going to be in the booth. That's
But
for
he's
sure.
got a Ween shirt on, so there's like bonus points for that.
All right, Lucas.
All right, ball 3. Very
Got a
comfortable
commanding
lead.
lead.
Again.
Never comfortable with PD.
He's wearing a great replay FX shirt.
I won this at the win a free entry to Papa tournament at Kickback.
But did
I
you
have
win
that
the
shirt.
free entry to Pinburg?
No, that
Just a T-shirt? All you got was a T-shirt?
yeah, I'll take it.
This is Pinburg like
I-
3 years ago. Or
Actually, John Del Zappo came in, beat up
all right.
Pittsburgh folk in at Kickback.
Well, Lucas, we got a free subscriber, Bright Pinball, to the channel here.
Thanks for the subscription.
Must be in love with your amazing play.
I mean, they're on a delay, so it could have been for Sneed.
It could have been.
$5 to help them learn how to play.
Oh my God!
Wow.
We will take it.
Glad
Anytime-
Rob showed up tonight because I'm the one who usually takes all the nonsense from you guys.
Well, you're going to play soon enough, and
All
so
right.
it'll happen.
Everyone donate to the Help Sneed Play Pinball Fund. Do it now by subscribing to PAPAtv Pinball.
Or on Instagram at Homeless Pinball Bum.
Man, this looks like the first ball I played, which was
Oh, yeah.
just that's nice.
Great
You didn't do
nudge.
that, though.
That's nice. No. I did hit every stand-up.
So you spelled step.
I spelled
Repeatedly.
I think like 3 times in that first ball. I'm going to go back and watch it. It's going to be bad.
I don't think spelling that even opens the step door. Wow, again.
No, Pete was saying it does. That,
I
but
think
it's
it just gives
different.
you points.
That it's different. It lights steps, but doesn't open the gate until you go up the ramp.
I cannot hit that ramp. Save my life.
Because there's something on the ramp that triggers.
No.
Is there an opto on that ramp? No, is this pre-optos?
There's a switch that we can't see under that little red jackpot light there. There's a switch that'll cause that sound effect if you half ramp it.
I'm going to be honest, I've never noticed that there was a jackpot light there. Just maybe that's normally how I play Funhouse.
I think it didn't even flip. Yep. Why waste energy? It's dead.
He said goodbye.
But $1 million in bonus brings him up to 10.
Why don't you guys tell us in the chat what I mean, you guys may know how those steps work, how those steps relight.
I
and-
know for a
Come
fact
on.
that right scoop
Come on.
oof is the primary way to light steps.
Yeah.
Pete can tell us.
What's up?
Can you light steps by spelling step?
Like hitting these targets?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, there you go.
I don't think so, but
I think you have to do it a few times, but
at least 8. You should go for that.
no.
Yeah, you're missing S and E. Pete, please show us if step actually can light steps.
All right, Brian Tessier, thank you for the biddies.
See, that's why you don't go for steps.
Oh, they are biddies for Sneed lessons, by the way.
Steve, we had some biddies donated in honor of you. They're apparently to help get you lessons.
Keep
So-
them coming, yeah.
That's awesome. So, who would you want to take lessons from?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Well, we're not asking
Any-
us. We
so-
all want to.
So we're
and it came
chipping.
up here.
We're chipping in, right, collectively for you to get pinball lessons.
Oh, that's really nice of you guys.
So-
Thank you.
Who in Pittsburgh would you like to get lessons from?
Alexander.
Oh,
Alexander
Yeah.
Kazmarchik. If you're listening,
Sneed,
Coach's door is always open.
send him a bill, not a bill,
Invoice. What
invoice. I don't know, whatever.
On that note, here's something that Rob will not be doing right now, which is submitting your scores to Pindigo. Pindigo is the premier social score tracking app for pinball players that the rest of us use. And you can save your scores, follow your friends, compare and compete. Pindigo is an amazing app that is available both for iOS, iPhones, and Android. Check it out online at pindigo.app.
Who won that one? What was that?
Not Rob
Luke.
and not
Lucas
Colin.
is coming back to the booth. We're going to kick Evan out
All right.
because that's how we're playing the game today. And Rob's going to start us up on our final game of Funhouse for the day.
Congratulations and welcome to the booth, Lucas. You had 2 straight really solid games on this Funhouse.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I do thoroughly enjoy this game.
This is the winner's circle.
Right.
You know,
In the James sandwich.
the James sandwich.
Nice and warm, cozy here.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Rob Sneed's starting it outright. I guess those biddies are helping, so keep them coming.
Nope.
Oh,
That was rough. That was rough. Steve, I'm going to ask, whenever you get the ball controlled, why do you keep plunging it into the pops?
I'm trying to get the hideout.
Okay.
see, I put it into the pops because I do believe that advances the clock.
It does advance the clock, but it's so dangerous to come out of those pops. Like he demonstrated there with the quick multi-ball when he plunged the second ball into the pops. It came out into a situation where you really couldn't save it. So, you know, it's just like any game where the plunge is so important. I mean, if the skill shot is very valuable or gets you a significant amount of progress, then maybe you go for it. But oftentimes, if you're in a situation where you're playing for points, you're playing against other people, you really want to think about, how do I get the ball to the flipper in a controlled state?
Right.
And the pops progress it. I think each pop is 5 minutes, so it's not really getting you very far. And if you have super pops, I believe it's 15 minutes, and Chad can correct us on that if I'm wrong. But they never are very valuable to progressing that clock.
If I want to progress the clock, like specifically, I'm probably just going to shoot the left ramp and then, you know, try and find another shot to keep going to that left ramp and advance it, because I think it's worth more each time you shoot it, and definitely it's a much more controlled shot. It's repeatable.
But boy, when it comes back down that ramp, it is vicious. It can go anywhere.
Don't fail.
That's true.
Sage wisdom.
And I mean, you can really get a good 3-shot combo off that does progress quickly, which is hit that left ramp, hit the lock shot, you know, that inner loop to the left of Rudy's head, and then smash Rudy in the face. Or if you can get 2 shots around the trapdoor shot with that upper flipper, you're going to progress. You're going to make a lot of points. That's a valuable combination. And it's all very controllable. Or you shoot the left ramp, and then you do a bank shot off the super dog into the mirror, which is a little riskier. But progressing the mirror is good.
When I was hitting the ramp, it wasn't too bad. When I'd come back down to then just pass it over to the right flipper and then just go right back into the ramp.
Yeah.
Give it a little bit of a nudge. But
Depending on the speed coming out of that ramp, you might even be able to hold up the left flipper and let it jump over. If the game is set up well for tournament play.
Frenzy was not friendly to Rob Sneed.
No.
That ball was, at least.
I mean,
good ball.
Big improvement over your last game.
right?
Big improvement. Those biddies are paying off already. Chat, donate some more biddies so that we can get Sneed some more luck, apparently.
There's currently some talk in the chat about, you know, doing a restore on a Funhouse. I know nothing about restoration of pinball machines, so maybe somebody else can talk about it. That's This Week in Pinball.
Oh, well, I will
Talking
say
about
that Nick Jaquay, local pinball tech, friend of the, I was going to say friend of the pod because I listen to a lot of a certain podcast that says that all the time. Friend of the show, friend of PAPAtv, great guy. He was just in here earlier and we were talking about it. And he said a complete rebuild, which included all LEDs and new ramps, was about $1,500.
What game are you guys talking about?
Funhouse. He said an LED package for this whole machine is about $300 in LEDs because
I just did one.
It's so many
not
lights.
cheap.
Well, just think about it. Look at all the lights just on the clock alone. I mean,
Wow.
that's a lot of lights. So rebuilding one of these is definitely a project, but I mean, there's not too many better games to rebuild that you're going to get a lot of fun and joy out of. It's going to hold its value, It's a very popular game. And you can have Rudy yell at you for years to come.
That was bad. Don't do that.
I can say as a recent pinball purchaser, it is a lot of fun to put in the LEDs.
Yeah, you get
Just
your
take
own
everything
style.
apart, right?
Well,
And just learning, you know, what's behind your game, what's going on underneath. It's, make sure to take lots of pictures, no extra screws. But
what machine did you just LED out?
Apollo 13,
Oh,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
it was a very dark game in the back. You basically couldn't see anything, so putting in a few extra.
That's a fun game. I have not played it since the PPL Finals Catastrophe, where Alexander got the 13-ball multi-ball, and the shooter lane was broken,
Oh, wow.
and all the balls
Just
dumped into
piled
the
up.
shooter lane and piled up to the glass. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Oh, no. Yep, I deserve that. I should have posted.
I mean, if you're gonna, make a gimmick, that's a gimmick. 13-ball multi-ball, that's a gimmick. Also funny that they couldn't get the rights to Tom Hanks,
Right.
so
Just a
he
big
is
face mask
wearing
and
his helmet.
I would much rather
Sorry.
that than the Back to the Future, nothing like Marty McFly look that they put on that. So I
Oh
couldn't get the
yeah,
rights.
yeah, that was not. Have you ever seen the flyer to Back to the Future?
I have not.
It's pretty amazing because they got like 2 people to sort of cosplay, but it was definitely of the standard of then and not today for cosplay. So it was not great. Let's just put it that way. There's a game you probably should never find in tournament because it has a catch-up mode for ball 3. There's a chance if you're second, third, or fourth player and you come in, you're way behind, you make one shot, and suddenly you're winning.
Great last-minute collect of that million there, Priyanka.
Thank you. I didn't think he was going to give it to me.
I think your ball was still draining. It hadn't quite registered yet, so...
There's a bit of grace period in this era.
Is there?
In this era, the WPC machines, for whatever reason, have a bit of a grace period. It's more important to look at the light on the playfield than it is to, like, if there's a countdown. The light seems to be more accurate.
Ooh.
Ooh,
That
that's
left
tough.
sling is so deadly.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
Throwing it out.
When it fires.
when it fires, it is aimed every time. It like moves, so it aims for that right out lane.
Yeah, I wonder, when you're designing a pinball machine, you're doing the physical stuff. Like the coding today is really interesting, but I think one of the most interesting things about pinball is like, okay, the goal is to stop the person from playing, right?
It is
Pinball is
money.
fundamentally designed so that the game will end at some point. And so, like, slingshots play a very important role, getting the ball to move sideways, but getting it to move sideways in a way that doesn't guarantee it going out, but makes it likely. Sneed's
Yeah.
not having a good day.
The new Rick and Morty machine putting a pop bumper where the sling would normally be. That's adding quite a bit of chance of draining.
I mean, it's digging back old school EMs. That was a very popular thing. I think I kind of have to think off the top of my head, but I believe there's a couple solid state games that have pop bumpers down by the slingshots or a slingshot. Jake probably is thinking I should have stayed in the booth and just ran the show. There were plenty of times over the last couple years when I was sitting back there
Get yourself a hot dog.
and thinking, you know what, I'm not going to go out and embarrass myself on this game. For a long time, I wouldn't come out and play these newer games because they're not my strength. My strength is by far EMs and older solid states. But I decided I really need to be better at playing these, and this is a great opportunity.
Right, gotta push yourself.
Well, and I can go back and review the film.
Right.
Go watch the tape. I dump it to VCR, and then I have a booth set up at home where I can like slow the tape down.
So this is a nice solid state, and I love this era actually. I don't like it. I don't know that I really grew or came to pinball loving those older machines, but this era, like you know, pre-DMD solid states. I don't know if this is what a System 40.
System 11.
System
and
11?
It's not. This is actually WPC Williams. You know, this was the first one, and Evan was telling us about this earlier. It's a WPC, which are all DMD games except for this one.
Oh.
It's the last one with the whatever this is called type of score, which I can't think of. But that, you know, all the other ones, like Earthshaker, Whirlwind, right?
Whirlwind, yes.
You know, those are all going to have a DMD. And I hated these. Man, I hated these because I felt like these ones, you know, versus like 10 years from now. 10 years from now had, you know, in terms of like points, there was a lot more variety in the way you got points. And so coming into pinball, you know, sort of re-coming into pinball right at Papa 18 and playing in Pittsburgh, I'd step up to a Funhouse and I wouldn't know how to efficiently score points on it because I wouldn't know there was only really one way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And like all of these, like Earthshaker, Whirlwind, there's like there's a way to progress the game, and there's nothing else.
Game knowledge is huge.
I like, you know, I like the call-outs from this era and the creativity of the design. I mean, these are really great original
dang.
themes.
Priyanka.
Successfully executed.
I tried.
It's a tight game, though.
Very
You
tight.
can make a comeback on ball 4.
It's not even a comeback. This is a one-ball game for 3 players. Sorry, Jake.
Rob,
Yes.
I
before you
believe in
plunge,
Jake.
let's play like ball 1. Let's not play like ball 2. All right?
Thank you.
You
Got
got
this.
this. You got this. Play like you're playing, what were we playing the other day at Helicon? The bank, the vault game?
Safecracker.
Safecracker. Play like you're playing Safecracker. Just a big version of Safecracker, which Sneed destroyed us all on.
That is a difficult game. Very unusual.
We will be playing it on PAPAtv at some point. It'll probably be in a series of other weirdly structured games. Safecracker's fantastic, though.
It's a real fun game, but, you know, we played it for League a couple weeks back, and I was like, I got a little bit unlucky on, you know, trying to get into the vault and ended up getting a locked door, and then it goes straight into sudden death and I drained. It's like I only got to play one ball, and it was really, really rough.
That was me.
It was compounded by, you know, I only got 2 balls on Pirates of the Caribbean because somebody plunged my ball.
They plundered your ball.
Plundered.
I thought that was the same group. I was there that night. I had heard that, and I was like, wait, isn't that the group that just played Safecracker? And now that you've put that together, that's great. I mean, go back into our archive, watch us when we played Pirates of the Caribbean because we turned Plunder way up.
Oh, that's awesome.
And unfortunately, we didn't get the one game that we played afterwards, or maybe the next day we came in because it was Jake's machine, so we were packing it up. And it was Jake and Fred, myself, and maybe one other player. And Fred got to play 1 of 3 balls and had 0 points at the end of the game because we stole I stole 2 of his balls.
Oh, wonderful.
And it was amazing. It was just, that's fun. That's when you're playing pinball and you're having some beverages, you know, and you're not worried about winning $15,000 at pinball.
It's less skillful than a bingo machine, but it's
Honestly, though, like repeating that plunder shot, knowing that, hey, this is the shot that's going to get me the biggest return. I got to light the map shot, and then I got to make this shot.
Oh, no!
Oh, he dug that ball out.
Hey, that was an amazing
Dug that
dig.
out of there. Wow.
You were
It
really
was fun.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the lead. You're in the lead.
A moment of silence for Rob's 3rd ball.
Yeah. Can
Rob tilt?
we get F's in the chat? F's in the chat for Rob. Rob Steed. Oh, that's too bad.
And just to clarify on the display, he has 9 million.
Oh,
A little bit of it's.
I'm sorry. That
Tiny
is
bit
9
off
million.
there,
So he actually did progress.
He was doing
He might
great.
win. He might win. Never mind. No F's in chat.
He was in
He's
the
still
middle
on-
of multi-ball.
He's still alive.
The greed got to him.
Greed.
That
Nice.
I try not to be greedy when I play in a like a tournament or a match play or a league or whatever. But man,
Oh,
okay, F's in chat for Jake. F's in chat for Jake. That's
that
sad.
hurt.
Um,
That hurt.
but like when I start playing for fun, casual,
You don't
maybe
play
some
for
dollar games, maybe if there's some adult beverages involved, I become the most greedy pinball player in the world. I will try to if I know that I can
Stab you
stack
in the
like
throat.
no, if I know I can stack 4 modes, I will skip the easy shot to start the 3 modes in order to try to get that 4th stack mode. Or like on Aerosmith.
Right, you're always
ball,
going for that
multi-ball.
6 ball.
In 3rd ball, I will like, oh yeah, I can get that last one.
Keep going, you got it.
The super dangerous set of shots. 5 balls is just not good enough. I really want to, destroy my friend and his father-in-law that he brought along with him. And you just get greedy.
Tell us in the chat, what games do you get greedy on?
Evan, what games do you get greedy on?
Well, literally Twilight Zone because there's a greed mode.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I have Super Frenzy thing lit.
Yeah,
Do
you
it.
need to get that. We haven't had it tonight.
Mystery mirror completed.
If you miss, if you miss it, it really is going to ruin our night. This is our one opportunity to see it.
Honestly, my playing every week pretty much ruins
Yeah.
this broadcast.
Jay, can you take down his name? I can't see him.
I hate you. I hate you.
Oh,
I get treated nicer by Rudy than you people.
you can still start the frenzy. I think.
I actually have a lot of options here.
So I had this problem. I tried to start.
So I got steps open,
Right, you were trying to
multi-ball
do
ready,
Frenzy and
and
the
the frenzy.
multi-ball.
And I'm thinking I should start the frenzy first,
That would be a good idea.
but
Yeah.
can't
If
make
you
the
were
re-
greedy.
if I could make the shot.
Be
well, we
greedy.
talked about being greedy, so what
Be
the
greedy.
heck? Let's
Be
be
greedy.
greedy.
Get that going.
I'm gonna sneak it in there while he's sleeping. Oh, or that. Oh no.
Just let it go down to your flipper. Just don't use that upper flipper.
Oh my gosh, that was bold.
Oh, wow.
Boom!
Bold!
Nice.
Okay. Super frenzy.
All right,
I'm
now
gonna
you
get the
have,
call out because he's sleeping.
now you have to get the multi-ball started.
All right, where's this ball coming out at?
Oh no.
Right. Oh,
Okay,
my.
but now you could go up the steps. Up the
He
steps.
trusted the
Be-
dead
Oh,
balance.
no, no.
No, don't do this. Actually, go out the left. I don't care.
It's not lit to save you.
This is maybe the lowest value frenzy I've seen. You want to get the other frenzy now. Nope.
Oh,
Yay!
Very nice, very nice.
So people in the chat are saying that they get greedy on Jackpot in Casino
Oh, yes.
Run.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Who done it?
Who done it?
Who done it? For those who don't know, when Who Done It's in tournament mode, it's
Wow, I didn't
You
know how that
lose-
went in there. I'm just flailing around here.
the roulette is set. You lose the first one, you win the second one, you lose the third one, and I'm still questioning whether or not I was a good person or a bad person. Being in league, playing a playoff game on that, a 3-player playoff game to move on. I'm having an okay game. The guy's having a fantastic game. Shoots his first roulette on ball 3. Bets it. Because he doesn't know that we're at Papa and it's on tournament mode. I mean, I would have never bet it when it was not on tournament mode, given how much he was ahead in the stakes. But
The mirror should reset.
I always wondered if I should have just, before he bet it, just been like, don't bet it. It's tournament mode. But I
That's
just
a little above and beyond.
I didn't say anything, and then
I don't know.
tried to
I
explain
don't
it to him afterwards, and he was real
So you're a
upset at
horrible
me.
person. Yeah.
I
'cause
don't
he had
think
lost.
you say anything there. I think that, just you giving him the information, it's only if he trusts you and listens to you. And, sure, I mean, it'd be a nice thing, but boy, they're making that decision in just a few seconds.
I am just breaking everything.
I don't think you have the time to explain the rules to them in that frame time of frame.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Casual. play,
Pops
definitely.
all day. Come on.
Now, sometimes if I know the machine's in tournament mode, I get greedy and I go after that roulette shot, which is not a good strategy. It's getting it lit, making the shot dangerous. I'll try to do it on ball 1 and just spin it and save it for ball 3. Like, have it save the lit shot, because then I know I can bet after I've done maybe a couple multi-balls. But oftentimes then I spend so much time trying to light the roulette and make that shot that I waste valuable effort and energy and focus just not progressing the game.
Right. I'm just going to keep taking frenzies. Ooh, special. Except here at Papa, they're all free.
Oh, there you go.
Boom.
Nice.
That's nice.
So,
Nicely done.
because there's nothing else going on,
That's his
my
third
strategy
frenzy?
is try to put it in the left orbit to feed the pops.
I mean, the big issue here with all these
Sad.
frenzies is that
I'm going to tilt.
Evan is... No, I mean, we put the rubber feet on the game.
We did.
So, I mean, it's the, if Evan's going to be here, we make sure we put the little rubber feet on the game.
Gangway all day.
Yeah, you got that.
Hey, keep going. There we go. Just came out of spinner.
Hey, thanks, Pinballers, for hosting the stream.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the host.
Orbits. There's a shot
That's
I can hit.
fantastic. Hope your viewership likes what they've come to see.
Go.
There you go.
Today we're
Backhanding
playing
the rim.
Funhouse. We're going to be playing Coney Island. My name is James. I'm joining the booth with Lucas and James.
We need a third James.
Right?
No offense, Lucas.
Oh, I understand.
Sorry,
I
Lucas.
mean, that's how I felt.
Do we have a third James in league?
I don't think it goes by James.
I mean, we have like 150, 160 players in our league, and I am not sure we have another active James in league.
Not to my knowledge this season. I'll have to. I'm gonna be on
All right, I'll
search
take
patrol
that.
here
Should be a good
and
bonus.
take
Looks
a
like
look.
our producer's looking it up on the computer, so he should be able to find Jake.
On the
We'll
internet.
handle it. I mean, we can make Jake an honorary James.
Very nice ball, Evan.
Thank you.
Evan, very nice. Almost as good as. Wait, is that better than your score?
That is.
Yep.
It's not better than my earlier score before the feed.
I don't remember that score.
It was in the high 18 million range.
You're where the batteries were, unfortunately. Actually, it turned out that wasn't even true because we replaced the batteries. And then right before we went live, I shut the machine off to get the
Nice.
music to turn off, and then it reset the whole machine. And Pete had to get up and reset it up onto the settings that we have this at. So we'll leave a note for the techs to figure that one out.
It's a mystery.
If I'm really honest, I don't actually remember if mine was higher than that or not. But I know it was 18 million something. So
All right. Well, while Evan's entering his initials, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor, PinballMIX. Have you ever thought, what would it be like to have the best music possible in one of my pinball machines? Mark from PinballMIX will upgrade your machine with smooth cuts, tight loops, and balanced levels. He does this with music you get to choose. There are plenty of mods to enhance what you see. PinballMIX can enhance what you hear. What others are saying. Ben from Midland, Texas. He does a professional job and loops things to perfection. Kevin from Buffalo Pinball. Love the mix that PinballMIX did for me. It's a great way to breathe some new life into your favorite game. So I have a problem with Kevin because he did it to Tron, and Tron might have one of the greatest soundtracks in pinball history, let alone movie. So Kevin, if you're in the chat, which you sometimes are, shame on you. Paul from Pinside said, I found this to be the best bang for buck mod I could personally add to the game. Go to pinballmix.com to see videos of Mark's work, or just email Mark directly at pinballmix@gmail.com for more info. Mark does such an amazing job because I think a lot of people don't realize, especially when you're putting music tracks in, like if you're composing music, like for Funhouse, it's easy enough to build the loop in. You can build the structure so that the music naturally loops. Or there's moments where you can kind of make a loop kind of work really well. But if you're going to try to take a song and then that, has a beginning, has a middle, has an end, and then try to like shoehorn away into loop it, it's very difficult. And then
It's
on
a special talent.
yeah, and then on top of that, to make it mix the same way that like a Stern or a Jersey Jack does, to bring the music in and music out at the right times, the right call outs. Think about how Iron Maiden will here's an amazing thing about Iron Maiden that Mark will do, is that if you pick one of the multi-ball songs as your song in Iron Maiden and you go into the multi-ball, it doesn't reset to the beginning of the song. It knows you're already playing that song.
The spot.
That's
It's
clever.
so smart.
Wow.
And Mark can do that, and it's fantastic. So we're going to talk to you now about some upcoming events. March 21st, we will be in Chicago, and by we, I mean Jake and Evan and PAPAtv for the Stern Pro Circuit Finals. Here's the flyer. This event is open to the public. It starts at 10 a.m. In Chicago. You can get in at 1 p.m. To party. The tournament will start earlier. We will be streaming. We'll be joined by Dead Flip on the stream. It's going to be the top 20 players in the Stern Circuit events from all across the country. Go to Stern's Facebook page to get updates. They're putting out player cards for all the players. It's going to be a fantastic time. It's at Lagunitas Brewing. So
Bonus.
if you like beer, it's not a bad day. Jay Wow's going to be there. Scott Ian from Anthrax. Evan Bookbinder.
Whoa.
Jake Cole of J-Check. Get their autographs. Go have some fun. There's going to be a huge free play area. There's going to be a DJ. It's going to be a great time. And then I think we got our upcoming broadcasts coming up. Next week, we're going to do all pool games. These are the 3 we picked. There's actually a ton of pool games.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if there's more, and chat can maybe find this out, more pool games or card games as pinball machines.
I would have to say card games from what I've seen, but
I would guess. And this is not going to be our only pool stream of the year. Come back in September. But we're going to play Break Shot, Pinball Pool, and the local favorite, Target Pool, the Champagne Edition. Tune in next Tuesday to figure out what we mean by the Champagne Edition. PAPAtv in 2 weeks, March 17th, Champion Pub and Lady Luck. Tune in to see our Champion Pub without any arms, because that was a big mistake putting the arms on the game. That trapped the ball a lot. And then, like we said, March 21st, 10 a.m. on Twitch. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch to get alerts. Stern Pro Circuit Finals. It'll be on Dead Flip's channel. We'll be hosting it, and we'll be actually doing all the broadcasts like you see it today. Are you guys excited for any of those weeks?
Very excited.
absolutely. I like pool games.
You like
Right.
pool games?
Target Pool's dynamite game.
Target Pool's fantastic. And now, Coney Island.
The sounds on this game are amazing.
What can PinballMIX do for this game? Except for the bomb sound.
The bomb sound is fantastic. Hopefully we'll get it. Gameplan did not have that many sounds. So, but this is probably Pete's third favorite game.
Wow.
Third.
Third favorite.
You know all three of his favorites?
Twilight Zone
Correct.
first. Roadshow second.
Yes.
Coney Island third.
Wow.
Gladiator third. Coney Island fourth.
Oh, I missed Gladiator.
close.
My bad.
A lot of people like Gladiator. That's a real fan favorite.
So can we play Deadpool as a pool game?
Funny. The Deadpool
serious.
is not in the building. Or no, maybe it is. No, I don't think it is. So no, we cannot.
Oh, nice.
Though that would have been funny. Just like we had initially thought of doing a Beatles stream, but actually just having a Sea Witch, and then just pretending it was a Beatles machine the whole time. So it's a pretty simple game. Your idea is, maximize points. Your goal is to light the spinner, and then shoot the spinner.
It's fairly bonus heavy as well, though. Advancing your bonus multipliers can be very lucrative. You can do that also by the saucer, I believe, and by completing either Island or Coney, or both of them, I think, both advance the multiplier.
Yeah, they both will advance the multiplier. If you finish them, Island are the shots here. So you tell me if you want to do those.
I actually do. That is my chosen strategy. I played in the Final Four of PPL a little while ago and did not come in first place. John Vogel did, but ended up in a tie for second, and we had to play a playoff game. This was the game we played.
Playoffs?
Was
against
it randomly picked, or did Chris Stevens pick this?
I chose this game.
Oh my gosh. Brilliant. Brilliant.
And Chris Stevens went for the spinner strategy, and I simply sat and shot island targets all day long, and I was the victor.
Power outlane.
Stick with what works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
from the backhand from the right's a little bit safer. That's straight on from the left flipper into those drop targets. That's
just
now it says duck shoot. You're firing right at them, either side.
Ducks. It's like shooting monkeys. If you know what that refers to, let us know in chat. You know.
See, that just felt so good. Oh, look at this.
Hitting monkeys.
Nice.
It has a nice duck sound to it. Oh, you're set up that you could. Oh no, I was thinking you were set up to get the rocket sound.
Spinner is lit.
The rocket sound is very difficult to get.
Here's the lit spinner.
Extra balls are on because you cannot turn them off. And
The Gameplan game has only one plan, and that's to give you an extra ball.
so we're at 2x bonus if he gets back up top and gets the O, which you cannot change. So
I'm
those are
shooting drop targets. Nothing but drop targets.
nothing but drop targets. Something. I mean, this is something you got to know. Anytime you play a game, can you shoot? Can you change the lights on the top lanes or the in lanes? Not in this game. So big plunge for Colin here. Huge, huge.
Great. Definitely one of those things you want to check out before you plunge, or
spelled cone.
see if you can move.
You spelled
those top
cone.
lanes.
Why?
You might be able to shats that Y,
Oh.
or you could.
Oh!
Oh no!
That was sick!
It was sick, but
On
it
the
didn't
fly
register.
shat.
No, it did. It reset.
Oh, that's beautiful. It reset. It was so fast.
I think my spinner's lit from that.
Yeah, if you spell Coney, you spell island, or you put it in the dish, you will progress that.
See, I can play pinball.
I mean, that was great. What you did to get the ball on the left flipper to Shats was maybe a little risky, but you know.
Gotta do what you gotta
Oh, extra ball was lit, and you went to the one lane down in the bottom that, you know, killed you without giving you an extra ball.
Shatzing on the fly.
That was pretty impressive.
Rob Sneed steps up. Here is Sneed when he had hair.
This is the rudest pinball.
I'm just taking it for
to
bookbinder
Rob.
this time.
Oh, that's true.
Diverting.
Rob, what's your strategy when you step up to Coney Island? Old Coney Island, by the way.
I truly do not have one.
Shoot that dish.
Oh.
Let's find out if Rob can dish it out.
I will say this, so the sounds are not great, except they are accurate to what the
What
shots
they're
are.
supposed to be.
Yeah, that's your pony ride shot, so you get that shot. When you hit the drop targets for the duck, you get some weird things like you're shooting something.
Nice.
If somebody gets that 50,000 point shot over here, we're going to get treated to one of the best sounds on this machine.
Sandmyth says that he's not so worried about the picture of Rob on the back glass, but he says that the baby there is real creepy.
Yeah, a little disturbing.
The baby is a little creepy and is getting a lot of secondhand smoke.
Kind of a Bobby Hill look.
Bobby Hill. Yes.
That boy ain't right.
Oh, for sure.
Some propane.
Daggone it, Bobby.
It's so right, too. It's really pretty accurate. Oh, nicely done. Some people would have nudged that and caused it to do something terrible. All right, Sneed, what are you? Oh my God,
Spinner.
spinner. Okay, I wasn't sure. I just wanted to verify.
Can't find it, but that's it.
I mean, this is a great ball anyways. He's up to 4x on the bonus, so don't tilt.
Yeah, if you hit those top 2 duck shot targets, you will be at 5x, which at this point I would be probably aiming for.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. I'll say Rob is one of the more entertaining players to watch play. Very
nice, Rob.
animated.
Very nicely done.
Animated, great stance.
So
right?
that back glass, we think that's Screech from Saved by the Bell.
It very well may be.
That could be Screech.
Oh my gosh.
That
I
show
hope he's
did
not
not
a
age
parent,
well,
yeah.
by the way. I don't know if
No.
anybody's seen that show lately. It's
I heard there's a remake in the works. We can
So,
Only
for
hope.
those of you wondering, Boston Market did not sponsor our dinner tonight, so I stayed home and had dinner with the wife, which meant I showed up late for our pre-production meeting, and thus my favorite ride is the teacups.
for
think
those
that's
that
how
are
we got here.
wondering, he's incorrect. He's just making up a story. He realized he said the teacups like immediately when we asked him, and then was embarrassed for no reason.
Right.
The teacups
We're not
are an
joking.
excellent ride. He has kids.
For children,
Like,
yeah.
why would you not enjoy the teacups with your kids? Tons of pictures of people in teacups at Disney World. But you do you, Evan. You do you.
I'm doing
Moon-
me. I completed the drops and lived to tell about it.
There you go. Moon Princess, a special
That is a
thank you for
brick.
the follow. You can tell us whether or not you like the
Wow,
teacups.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, chat, tell us what is your favorite carnival ride. We've told you ours.
Well,
And you can say carnival act. We had a discussion a little bit earlier whether or not it should be rides
Oh my.
or acts.
PPL Bob says that it should have been, he would have thought that it would have been Small World, Evan. It's a small world.
Oh, PPL Bob.
that sub from earlier, you can have that back.
No, it's ours forever. PPL Bob, write to me and let me know when you can be on the stream. We're gonna have you on, and you and Evan can just enjoy the night together.
We were sitting back there saying someone needed to make the short joke, and that's why I haven't had the teacups, and Bob to the rescue.
Getting the camera angle of Bob and Evan in the same shot might be a little.
Outlane to the
challenging.
rescue.
Also for the chat, anybody's favorite game plan game?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sharpshooter 2.
Sharpshooter 1.
Right.
Ah.
And you'll
Not
notice
as
they
good.
all have that same drop bank to the right there. That's very signature game plan.
Oh, I spotted the Y or something. Oh, no, I didn't. Can we do a repeat?
A repeat of
The shots.
probably not.
Someone in the chat earlier was talking about how difficult it is to maintain these game plan
Oh.
games.
That was an extra ball, though.
I'm sure the parts are difficult because a lot of these small manufacturers use kind of weird proprietary parts, or the plunger mechanism was different, the way things were mounted were different, and sometimes you can get away with a modern part or a part from a different manufacturer from the era. But a lot of times, you just had to go with what
was available.
existed. And there's probably not a big stockpile of game plan parts hanging out anywhere. Though I'm sure somebody has like a whole garage of them. Doesn't know what he has.
Saving them for when game plan makes a comeback.
Luckily, we have 2 amazing pinball techs that work here full time at Papa, and if they can't find the part, they're very good at figuring out how to improvise a part that will work. You know, and that's why our games are in such great state, and it's pretty fantastic being able to play them. And if you come to Replay FX, if you get an entrance
As you all should.
to Pinburg, which if you haven't gotten it, well, sorry. But if you get a chance to come out to play Replay, you know, go around and just play as many games as you can. Because even if it's a game that you're familiar with, maybe the version here is in just better shape. Some of the older games, even on route, you know, most of it works, but a game at Replay, it's all going to work.
Right. A lot of time and effort into that.
Minutes to Midnight says that their favorite ride is the Scrambler. That's an old classic.
Yeah.
You see that one almost at every place, or a version of it.
Fun to see them on the highway on the back of the truck going down the road.
Yeah, and then you're like thinking
Wondering
to
what's shaking
yourself-
loose on that.
Yeah.
Rob's favorite ride, the Gravitron. That's another one that always caused great concern for me.
Well, I mean, if you come to Replay FX, it's not a Ferris wheel, because a Ferris wheel is a very specific design. It's what's the name? It's not a Ferris wheel.
The airplane ride.
No, that we had at Replay FX.
last year.
I can't remember.
Mini
Tilt-a-whirl.
Ferris wheel.
The Tilt-a-whirl.
Right, because each of the pods would spin.
Yeah, you can as the thing spins, and this thing goes fast. It
Yes.
like, you know, normal Ferris wheel is kind of casual. It's just kind of going around. This thing gets going. I thought when they had turned it on while we were setting up, and thank you Bucko Boone for the follow. I thought when they were setting it up that they were just testing it, like, oh, you have to test the game or test the machine really fast. You know, wear the brakes in or something. Apparently, no. It just goes really
Good one,
fast. And there's a mechanism in the thing that you can hold that'll lock your pod in place so you can be inverted. And the cool people figured out you get inverted to go up top and then let go. And before it gets to the bottom, you re-invert yourself and you go upside down underneath the ride. I mean,
This does not
Crazy.
sound fun at all.
that's
Yeah.
but
I had multiple rides on that. That was
you can ride it at Replay FX because that's how much we care about our Coney Island cosplaying at Replay. Great start there,
Not really.
Evan.
Terrible.
So, Colin, you won that game.
Oh, did I?
I think that's why you're over here.
Oh no, Colin came,
came
in
in
second,
second.
but Rob's losing his voice, so commentary from Rob would have been. He's been smoking too much, obviously. And
Yeah.
all right, so
What's for the baby?
what strategy should I go for? More duck shooting, or do the people want to see something
I
else?
want the missile sound.
All right.
I mean, it's kind of luck. You just got to throw it up into pops and then try to get it over to that 50,000 shot. But
Oh,
that was a good start.
They threw it up to the pops. They just didn't hit it.
No. All right, Priyanka.
Yes.
Big 21,000 point lead. What do you do?
Islands.
Islands?
Islands in the
And-
Sun.
Yeah, islands in the sun and rocket ships.
Big Weezer fan.
Yeah, the Rocket, I mean, 50,000 points is no joke. It's not, like, that great, but... Oh. That was rough. That was rough. Anytime the top of the slingshot is taller than the top of the end lane,
Right.
you run the that's what happens. You
Right.
got, the nudging is not the same.
Plus, you have that little arrow part right there above the outline that makes it. You'd assume it to help you nudge a little bit, but it seems just kind of force it into the outlane.
Yeah, I think it just guides it where you don't want it to go unless you have that extra bullet.
Right. In that case, don't tilt. Because that would be kind of miserable if you go to save it and you didn't need to save it because you were just going to get to play the ball again. And bonus is big. As Pete talked about earlier, bonus in this game is really big.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
That's
Rob,
a good one, huh?
That's pretty good.
That's going to go right down the middle.
There's
Ride is closed.
can you
Oh,
can you get it to
God.
the other way? The
And all
clown
my
is
fears have been.
the clown is laughing at you. Come on, you got do the back last thing.
effort.
Like shake the back box.
Don't send
There you
me
go.
clowns.
Oh,
Don't worry, guys. I got this.
like a professional. And yeah, I think that's the first time Rob did not get a toll warning today.
There you go.
Rob, 22 days until spring training's over.
I know.
Are you excited?
I am. I'm going to be in Houston for the season opener. And I am going to the game to see those cheaters.
Bring your garbage can.
Right. We'll send the signals.
Speaking of cheaters,
Ouch.
Yes.
New England. All
I
right.
was just reading a story that showed A-Rod was disappointed in the way the Astros handled themselves. Irony, anybody?
Oh, it's amazing. What's your strategy now? Now that you, have to make a big comeback. You guys are really playing this game great, I gotta say.
Get those 2 ducks.
Of course it's not lit for
Or
me.
light the spinner.
2 ducks.
50,000. I'll catch it right up.
You need an N and a Y.
Nudge into that 50,000. No. Oh, that was
There
nice.
it
Oh,
is.
no,
That's
stop.
one.
Tip over.
Now your scoop is up to 3x.
Shots at Y.
All right. I'm going to give this a go. This is either going to
Later
go well,
than you think.
or this is going to be very embarrassing.
That was
Well,
pretty
Solid
close.
attempt.
This is Shat's pass. I mean, it's one way of getting the ball over. So, you cannot normal. There's no other good way of passing.
Get through there.
Very nice.
Can you tap pass on this, Evan?
That's what I was asking Pete was if they used Bally flippers, because I can't imagine Gameplan had its own
Flipper
parts.
mech. Well, and who knows?
Please live.
And the question would be like, okay, if they did, do they exist anymore? So they get replaced by Bally flipper mechs?
I don't know. Although I also need the N even if
Yeah.
I pull this off. But
Well,
Once you hit the spinner and get your
I feel
N.
like it's doable.
Just got to do it on the fly like Colin did.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
I
He's
think
very
call
skilled.
maybe on the fly. Oh,
It was a little later
Little
than I
extra
expected
momentum.
from a cradle. I think being on the fly helped that.
Oh,
it
no.
did something not
Oh,
smart.
Yeah, you
No
touched the
bounce overs on
flipper.
this whole game.
You tap
Good bonus,
passed
though.
before the ball was there.
I did. All right, I'll take that.
It's a lot of
Yeah, I
fun.
think with the momentum, you were able to get past the wire in lane
Yeah.
guide because it's just a little bit high,
Right.
which is something you got to look at when you look at a machine because sometimes it might be set up where you can do a in-lane pass, and other times that wire is going to be so high that if you in-lane pass it too fast, it'll actually go right back down the flipper.
Well, I absolutely think it's doable from a cradle. I think it's just a matter of percentages. How often will it work?
Yeah, and is it worth it? And for the stream, Evan Bookbinder Shat's passing is always worth it.
Always.
And if you don't know what we mean, you're basically trying to pass the ball from one flipper to the other. Let me see if I can get this.
Rude.
Down the flipper using a straight line, so that doesn't really help. But down the flipper so that it'll go up the other in lane. Some machines, you can't do it because the in-lane guides. Some machines, you can't do it because the in-lanes are too short, and when you in-lane pass, it just goes up and over, which is basically an out-lane pass at
Yeah,
that
it's
point.
a very defeating moment.
But if you do it, you're a cool kid.
What do you want me to do?
In-lane pass to get that Y.
The Y.
But you still need the E.
So,
So you're not quite there yet.
Yeah, just throw it up into the pops at this point. Try to get that 50,000. Wow,
There's going to
you,
get your E.
you missed every pop.
I know.
Ride the horse.
It's a pony.
It's a pony ride.
Oh, nice.
Pony is a horse.
All right, in-lane pass for the Y.
Oh, you didn't tell me in time. I already flipped. Dang.
You'll get another chance. One more ball. Rob Sneed. Let's see some magic. Which is not an attraction here at this carnival, apparently, at Coney Island.
They don't allow magic.
Have you been to Coney Island?
Me, no.
I've ate a Coney Island hot dog, which is not from Coney Island, by the way. It's from Detroit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where the Coney Island hot dog came from. First plant was right across from an auto workers plant, and it was just a way of making it more efficient because there was only so much time for workers to take for lunch by the time they left the building, walked across the street to get a hot dog. And so all the aspects of Coney Island are designed for that.
To eat your conies.
Yeah. I think they were either from or a fan of Coney Island. That's why they named it that. But
Oh, wow. Excellent double slap saves.
Anyone going to the New York City Pinball Championships? The Coney Island has a pinball parlor that they'll often do an after tournament there.
on Sunday?
Saturday evening. I
Oh,
think, yeah.
like
So
late.
Yep, yeah, really.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
They
City
do
that never
things
sleeps,
late
so.
in New York City. I just never thought Coney Island would be open.
Shout out to Joey Chestnut.
All right, Evan, get that in, and then get down there for your inland
Lunge
pattern.
pass.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't do that. All right, let's try this again.
That one might be set up that if you short plunge too much. There it is.
Nice.
Hey!
Wow, and back
Alright.
through.
Oh, if you had ripped that spinner and then got the end, that would have been beautiful.
That would have been.
And that was an outlay.
Well, at least we demoed that thing, so.
Job well done.
Okay, Pete.
Yeah.
Missiles.
I've been
Missiles all
trying.
day. Please throw it up into the dangerous pop bumpers.
Hey, a little pop bumper.
When I was a kid in elementary school, I had these.
Oh,
You'd think I would have learned not to try that shot again.
Yeah, the left shot, if you just go straight up,
Straight up,
there
straight up,
is
yeah.
that left top lane
It goes
guide.
all the way down.
And it just, it's the perfect
aimed right
shot.
back.
I had these sneakers that would create that missile sound whenever you like pressed them or something like that. And one day they broke, and so they just kept making the sound over and over in
Oh,
class.
man.
I started crying because my shoes would just not stop, and I got in trouble.
Wow. I mean, I'm a little older, so we didn't have like any of the lights and shoes or anything, but I mean, I was a kid when the pumps came out.
Yeah.
And the cheap pumps, like, I mean, they joke about it now, but like when you got your like Kmart pumps, your off-brand pumps, you could break them by over pumping.
Yeah.
You know,
Over bumping.
you could over pump your pumps, and
You gotta watch your pump.
but man, I was all about the pumps.
Did they make you faster?
They did. It was like wearing a pillow on my feet.
Wow.
And now I don't even wear any athletic shoes
Yeah.
in my life, except climbing shoes.
That's the real PEDs, performance enhancing dogs. Do people call shoes dogs still?
Sure. We'll say yes. We'll
No.
say yes.
No,
We'll
no.
say yes. Oh, wow. 156,940 to 157,290. Sneed, you have a chance.
Have you guys discussed how
Bomb for the win.
do you like the pop bumpers?
Pete, how do you like the pop bumpers?
You see those two red targets up on the right side that say 500?
See where our arrows
do.
are pointing?
I'm guessing it's those.
Okay.
I don't
pump it
know
up.
for sure, though, but
Do a short plunge into the end.
trying to throw it up there to get the bomb, I kept lighting pop bumpers, so. And there isn't anything else up there. Yeah, the short plunge into the sea, well done.
Can we make like pinball gloves that you can pump up?
I'm sure that there would be a market for it. So I'm sure we could find a market. So with that, that's Coney Island.
Oh, I come over to give you guys a chance.
Oh, I think that's okay. I think
You
I'm
sure?
good. Well, Colin got to play.
Yeah.
And I won one of my 2 games, so I'm good.
I lost all my games at Coney Island. I was too busy eating hot dogs.
From Detroit.
That's a real Coney Island experience.
Going to Detroit and getting a hot dog.
I was thinking losing your games.
That's true. And this would have been the perfect night, and we should have had Arcade Matt on here. He could have told us all the secrets.
Oh.
Our good friend of
Yeah.
PAPAtv. Look for him, Arcade Matt. We'll have him on the show soon enough. I know he'll watch this sometime this week.
And
And
gotta
so
have him and have Bob, and got a long list of guests lined up here.
got a long list of guests. Yeah, great night. Funhouse, Coney Island. One really amazing pin, one decent pin from that era.
Coney
Yeah.
Island's underrated. I think it's a good game.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, all the game plan games are the same, but
Yeah, it's kind of light spinner. Spin.
And bonus. Well, I mean, that one.
Shoot ducks.
I think shooting ducks, getting that bonus to 5x is 100,000 if you max it out. And ducks are the most efficient way. So, with that, that's our evening.
Take us out.
I'll take us out. So, for everybody here, my name's James. This is Petey. This is Colin. For the team, Jake, Priyanka, and whoever else is over there.
Lucas. There's
Lucas,
Evan,
Evan, Rob,
and Dad Sneed.
and James. The other James.
Oh.
Most importantly, the other James.
Real quick, get well, Allison.
Yeah, get well, Allison. Pinball injury of
They're
the
serious
century. Of the century. So if you see her, wish her luck. And have a great time. Play some pinball and make sure you sanitize your hands afterwards. Good night.